range. It's time to talk about animal companions, because who doesn't want to be a beastmaster and have their own personal animal companion who will follow them everywhere, eat all of their food, require massive veterinarian bills, and potentially bankrupt them? No, I'm not saying that at all. Okay, alright, so sound check is done. This is hopefully going to be a less than bizarre session for today. All I wanted to say is anybody who hasn't seen my videos before, my live streams, put your comments, your feedback and questions in the chat box now. I will respond to you near the end of the presentation. I want to do everything first and then I will talk to you about whatever it is you want to talk about. If you're re-watching the video, look down in the description. You'll find down in the description the start time. I will put the start time so you can skip all of this blabbering that I'm doing right now. And let us get started. Okay. Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Wheeler and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and in particular I would like to talk about the purpose of your animal companion. And let's get real. Who wouldn't like the idea of actually having a character who is a Beastmaster? Okay, alright, I realise that the Beastmaster kind of got the shaft with the Dungeons & Dragons 5e book, and therefore having an animal companion, particularly in combat, just seems an awfully bad idea quite often, considering how fragile they are. And so that player's handbook and what they've got there for the Beastmaster with animal companions really sort of puts you off actually having a Beastmaster. I've seen it happen at my table many times, and a lot of people just give up on having an animal companion simply because in combat they're just squishy. And as a dungeon master, even myself, because they are they're not a player character, they're basically an NPC run by the player. And that's my sort of view. It's not actually being played as such, it's just being controlled, a bit like the Dungeon Master, but by a player. So it's tempting to wipe them out. So I decided I would do a video discussing how you can use your animal companion outside of combat. And that's what this is all going to be about today. So let's start off, shall we? First off, a sentry. Sentry duty at night. While you're sleeping, it can warn you of danger. And that's a good example of that. I think that's a reasonable option in my opinion. Otherwise, tracking other creatures or monsters or villains, anything like that. So if you have a creature who has a good sense of smell or a good sense of sight, they can help you track down whoever you are pursuing through the jungle, through the swamp, through the desert, whatever it might be. Okay, next would be, what about extracting the poison from a poisonous animal? Now, I'm not saying that a cat is a poisonous animal, but some animal companions do eject or inject poison. And those animal companions can be kind of milk the poison, and then coat your arrow tips or your blade with their poison so that you get a bit more kick in combat with your weapons. Now this is something that a cat would be very good at, and that is licking your wounds when you are wounded. Yes, licking your wounds when you are injured. I'm not sure that's entirely hygienic or even desirable, but I know they will do it, and I'm certainly sure that a dog would, and potentially a cat. I don't know if it's clean. I'm now just maybe don't include that one. That sounds a little bit disgusting. Okay, we'll skip that one completely. What about intimidating a non-player character into revealing information or following your directions? Now, there's nothing intimidating about a frog, but something like a wolf, that could certainly be very intimidating in the right place, or even a really big dog. Big dogs always are quite nice. So intimidating the Dungeon Master's non-player characters or other monsters so that they will reveal information that's vital to the adventure, or just to force them to do what you want them to do. What about infiltrating a dangerous location and gathering information for you? And this is only really going to work if you actually understand what their language is. Do you understand how to speak Frognese, or have you cast a spell on yourself that allows you to communicate with your beast? Or are you the sort of race that basically understands all small beasts? And if that's the case, then you're away. What about infiltrating a location and searching for traps? Searching for traps, why not? Rather than the rogue doing all the searching for traps, you can get your animal companion to do that. Although I do feel like that might potentially cause quite a few deaths. So just bear in mind, not always a great idea, particularly if they are likely to get hurt badly. Smashing through a large barrier. If you've got a large enough, now the problem with the animal companion, they can only be medium size, so you've got to get yourself the largest medium size animal companion for it to be able to barge through a barricade of some kind. But smashing through a barricade, that might be a use that you can use in your game. Somebody decides to block off a door, and along with your shoulder going into there, your animal companion can help barge into it. Oh, this is one I rather like, and that is, what about carrying your luggage, your supplies, your weapons, all of your food that you might be taking to a faraway land? So carrying your luggage and supplies from one location to another, provided it's strong enough. If it's a bit on the small, weak side, it's not going to work. But a mule's a pretty good example of an animal strong enough to really do something like that. So I would suggest a mule, even a big dog maybe. A parrot can be trained to warn of intruders or danger, and it can speak. This is one of the bonuses. You don't have to worry about being able to speak to animals by casting the spell or being a forest gnome. And flying animals are extremely good scouts. They can scout ahead for danger, and once they've seen whatever's going on, they can come back and let you know. And don't forget, if you have the ability to communicate telepathically with your animal companion, that's going to eliminate the hassle of having a spell that will allow you to communicate with them, so you can actually figure out what's going on. What about hunting for food? Yes, you can go hunting for food, and that food will feed your party and you, and your animal companion can help you do that. In fact, some animal companions are probably so good at hunting, in fact, that they don't need your help whatsoever. And I think a panther is certainly a very good example of that. What about body heat on a cold night when you're very, very cold? Help keep you warm. Now, obviously, you have to pick the right animal companion for this. Something like a small rat is not going to be suitable, and you're certainly not going to get warm by snuggling up with something like a snake. But certainly the panther, the dog, the mule, they're all going to have a fair amount of body heat, so they could be quite useful to you as well. Don't forget the help action. Absolutely, you can use the help action outside of combat. It's not always about being in combat and using the help action. Now, if it's a large enough creature, it can help drag and move something. If you are searching for a location for a particular item that it understands, or a particular smell, normally, when you're trying to find something, if you've got a sample of that scent, you wave it in front of the dog's nose, or whatever animal it is that's got the good strong scent detection, and then away they go. They can find a piece of cake. No trouble whatsoever. What about carrying messages to your allies? Now, the raven would be a pretty good example of something like that, where you just tie your message onto its foot, and it flies off to wherever you need it to fly to, and then it flies back with the other message once you've delivered your message. So carrying a message, even something like a pigeon. Remember, homing pigeons have been around for many, many years, until of course they were extinct and no longer around, but they were certainly used quite a lot, and they were very, very helpful to their masters until, of course, they probably all got eaten. Okay, what about a mount? Allows you to move a lot faster. Now, here's the problem with the mount. If you aren't a race that's quite small and the animal companion that you've got isn't really big enough for you to sit on, then it's not going to be a mount. There's no way you can mount a snake or a raven or a rat, unless it's a very, very big rat. But something like a large dog, like the Mastiff, and even a wolf, and of course your mule. Yeah, it can carry you as long as you're the right size. And if you're not the right size, then obviously it's not going to be an option. Don't forget, there's an important part to be played in just being friends. So you now have a new friend who can keep you company. Not just the other members of the party, but also this animal companion who's hopefully going to stick to you like glue. Now, if any of this stuff doesn't work for you and all else fails, you can always just wear it as a fur coat, provided it's furry. If it's not furry, then, I don't know, snake skin boots or something like that. So lots of different possibilities in terms of the animal companion outside of combat where you can utilize them. They don't, you know, if you keep them out of combat, then they probably won't die, and they can still be very beneficial in your game in many different ways. Okay, I've covered pretty much everything I wanted to discuss today. I thought this would be a nice change for those people who have been watching all of the Dungeon Master videos or live streams that I've been doing, and so this is why I've done this video. So if you liked this video or found it interesting, please share and like the video with other people. If you are not subscribed and you like this sort of content, there will be more, so please subscribe. Hit the bell button to be notified when I do a new video and when I go live. Now, if you want to support my channel, you supported my channel right now by watching this video, and I have many, many more videos you can watch that will help me as well. I don't do Patreon, but down in the description, you know the thing, those affiliate links. You can buy stuff from Amazon, the book depository. I get a small commission. You pay exactly the same price as you normally would, and you don't even have to buy the thing that I've linked to. Just go through the link and go and buy whatever it is you want to buy. So that's pretty much covered everything. Now, if you're in the live chat and you want to have a discussion with me about anything in particular, or give me a bit of feedback, that's good too. Stick around, I'm not going to disappear. Otherwise, if you're not part of the live stream, then you can put your questions, feedback, your opinion down in the comments section. And hey, thank you for hanging around. Until next time, keep rolling those 20s. Okay, well that's covered it. Is that next? Hopefully I got it right. How's it going, man? Hopefully you're still around after my my rambling, and I'm hoping that it was in some way useful to people. I know I was a bit tongue-in-cheek at times, but I was serious about the fact that the animal companion can really be useful outside of combat, and I think that there's a great deal to be done and a great deal to be played out. There are benefits that an animal companion can have in a party that cannot be gained by the likes of the familiar and even from the paladin's fine steed. And you'll be surprised, if you have a really hard think about it, there'll be many times when they're really going to make the difference, where the right animal and the right task can do far more than a lot of other party members can. Dude! Oh, I like that name. Oh, hang on. Is that dude? I won't say the other word. How's it going? Hopefully you enjoyed the video or the live stream. There don't seem to be too many questions coming through, so I think maybe that's where we'll cut it short. But hey, thank you, Nex and Dude, for showing up. And I will probably see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be more for the Dungeon Master. I believe it's preparing for the Lost Mine of Phandelver, for anybody who's sort of interested in that sort of thing. So if you're a player, you probably don't want to hang around for that, because you might get a few spoilers. But if you're a Dungeon Master, you certainly should find something useful in it. Okay, I'm going to say good night, and you guys all have a good day, good night, good evening, whatever it is. Stay safe, and don't do anything I wouldn't do.